This is just AMZN for Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. We got that inside day today. We started out with a small gap up. Jumping into the 5 minute here, we opened up really just above or right at the resistance that we came back up into, right into the 20, into the 5 exponential, and then stayed below the 21 over here. That's the same price. So we came in, opened up right here, sold off, initially got a little bit of a bounce, but ended up doing this S curve right back down. And then we bounced here. We had kind of a little bit of a support going on here, which is the same level yesterday that we totally just went sideways for a while. So those areas became your resistance. So this being resistance up here. Let's try that again. Resistance up here and support down here. And obviously, if I can draw it straight, obviously you didn't know it was going to stop here, but if you weren't out at this point, if you're going bearish here, you can either get out here or you wait until over here and it doesn't roll over and then it throws in a hammer. And then this was looking like a really good place for it to bounce. Got some small candles here that ended up going higher, right back up into the same resistance. Looked like we were going to get above this line, the 33.6680, and then take off. And instead we just rolled back over. I was watching this and I got tied up during the day, but I saw this looking like a nice rest after battle here. And it's like, I really think this is going to fail. And it took another, 45 minutes to an hour here, and then still went sideways in here for another half hour, and then finally broke down. And then I have not seen this in a while where we like flatline on the RSI. These values, like they were literally zero. So let's see, right here at zero. I was like, look at the numbers, where'd it go? This number right here. It actually goes to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 2.21. Like, it was so incredibly low. It's like, okay, this has got to bounce at some point, and it just didn't. So it again went sideways, this same range, or actually a little bit lower here. No, about that same range that we came down to yesterday and went sideways. At the end of this, so yesterday at the end of this, we actually broke down further. The RSI got a little bit higher. At the end of all of this today, the RSI did get higher, but not quite as high. And then this kind of looks like that dip back down. It just didn't get back into the oversold area, but we got a little bit of a bounce. So yeah, totally inside day. And there were some really good times to be buying or selling and trading either direction. Let me zoom out here. So we had, let me zoom in just to today. There we go. A little more. There we go. Okay, so right through here, we had some really small candles on the 3,300 put. Possibly able to go with $100 risk. This is a little more expensive than I like to go. I definitely like to be below 10 or at 10. So this would have been a little more than I would have wanted to spend on an option contract. And if you weren't in, if you were in a little bit early, you could have been stopped out. So if you were going like 13 by 12, or sorry, if you're going 14 by 13, you would have been stopped out when it came down to, what was it, 12? Where's the low? Oh, you know what? No, the 1282 is the lower here. The lower here was actually 1342. So this could have worked 14 by 13 and gave you some good opportunities to get into that here. But then at this point, the 14 price would have missed and it left you behind on this candle. So probably would have liked to be a little further away, like the 3250 or maybe next week's expiration, which is actually October 1st, and been down around like 3,200 or something, just to see if we can get that kind of continuation move lower. And I mean, it did definitely continue lower for a while. So on the bullish side, we did get a bounce off of like a kind of a double bottom shape, bouncing off the 21 through here, got a nice hammer over here. Didn't look very strong though, didn't get the RSI down to oversold. Not on the 5 minute, but on the option we did. And again, this would have been a little more expensive than I'd like to put into one contract. You got to be right and just perfectly right, and you can spend less on an option contract and still be right. So anyway, if you were into something like this, you would have had to choose or use an R that was a little more than $1, or $100, dollar on a contract, and that was a nice move. Came into this rest after battle, or what's it called? Falling three, rising three, something like that. These three candles in between dropping, bookended by the bullish candles. Looks like it should continue. You're right at this kind of gap down. No, that wasn't a gap down there. It was, I was thinking the gap down here, but that's not that spot. Anyway, came into some resistance here where we had an inverted hammer, and that was a good place to get out. That was right when we were into the resistance here. So on the 5 minute, we got back up into that price on Amazon, but over here, we didn't get back up into that resistance. We stayed below it, but still a good place to be looking for a place to exit. Good target to have there, and just take your gains and run, and then potentially flip, which in this case would have worked nicely. So yeah, hope this helps. This is Just AMZN. Thanks.